वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste everyone. In today's session, we are going to review the Nama Nabhyalavala Romali Lata Phala Kucha Dvayi. The entire line of this shloka is one Nama and must be pronounced in full. So far, we have been reviewing the Namas in the Kamaraja Kootam. Vasinyadi Devatas are describing the Namas, the divine form of Sri Lalitambika, from Kantam until the hip. Kantata Katiparyanta Madhya Koota Swarupini. So we have been reviewing all the Namas starting from the divine Mangalya Sutram that's always there in her neck. The Nama Kamesha Patta Mangalya Sutra Shobita Kantara. Then the Kamaniya Bujam with Kanakam and Angatam as ornaments. Kanaka Angata Keyura Kamaniya Bujanvita. Then she's wearing very special necklaces that has three parts. Ratna Graiveya Chintaka Lola Mukta Balanvita. We saw that in one of the earlier sessions. And in the last session, we viewed a very special Nama, which was Kameshwara Prema Ratna Mani Pratipanasthani, the divine breasts of Sri Lalitambika, the Sthanya Banam, which is the Poshakasthanam. Again, now we are going to review another Nama, the next Nama in Kamaraja Kootam. The Nama is Nabhyalavala Romali Lata Phala Kucha Dvayi. Let's first look at the components in this Nama. Nabhi. So the way we have to pronounce is Nabhyalavala Romali Lata Phala Kucha Dvayi. But for understanding sake, where it says Nabhyalavala, we can think of it as Nabhi Alavala. So those are the first two components here. Nabhi is the divine navel sthanam, the round belly button. That is what is called as Nabhi. It's the most sacred spot. So, Vasinyadi Devatas very specially worship this Nabhi and they are going to tell us the importance of this Nabhi. So, Nabhi, it looks like an Alavalam. Alavala means, see, when we plant a tree, what we will do, we will make a nice round base around the tree, right? Why do we do that? So there will be one central spot, and around that there will be a round base, so we can pour water and the water will nicely firmly be close to the base of the tree, and the water will not run out, right? So that part is called as Alavalam. So Vasinyadi Devata says this Nabi is like an Alavalam. So the it looks like a round base surrounding the tree used to store water. It's like a basin. So this Nabi is like Alavalam. Nabi Alavalam, Nabhyalavalam. Then the next component is Romali. For Romali, we should interpret it as Roma Avali. Roma Avali means thin row of hairline. So we say Deepa Avali, Deepavali. What does Deepavali means? It means rows of Deepam that are placed. That's why we keep lots and lots of Deepam, right? The rows of Deepam are called Deepa Avali. Like that, Vasinyadi Devatas are using the term Roma Avali, Romavali. See, from the Nabhisthanam, there is a row of thin hair that's going up, it seems. Okay, very small strands of hair, very small strands of hair. From the navel, thin line of hair coming up in the Urdhva direction. Urdhva direction means it's like going in the upward direction. From the navel, Roma Avali is going upwards. Okay, so far that's the Varnana here. Then Lata. Lata means it looks like a creeper. So if you take a tree, the creeper, what does it do? It just goes around the tree, right? Like this. The thin hair, it goes like it's like this. It's exactly like this. How a tree would have a creeper around it, like that. On Lalitambika, there's a thin hair structure that's going upwards. It seems like a lata. And what does it have? It has phala. Phala means fruits. So from the navel, there is a Roma line going here, a thin star of hand, and it has phala. Phala means fruits. How many fruits and what are they? That is what Vasinyadi Devatas are saying. Kucha Dvayi, the fruits are kucham. Kucham are the vakshoruhams, or the stanyams, or the divine breasts. Okay, so at the top of the Romavali are the stanyams. And how many of them? Dvayi. Dvayi means two stanyams, two breasts, two vakshoruhams. So the Nama says Ambal has a very divine navel right here, from which a thin row of hairline goes upwards. This Romavali looks like a lata or a creeper. At the top of the creeper, there are two fruits, which are her stanyabharam. Now, this Nama has been visualized uh, with great meanings in Saundarya Lahari. While visualizing, there are three specific aspects of it that are being conveyed. So, the first aspect is that the navel is like this alavalam, right? Navel, if you see, Nabhi alavalam, Nabhyalavala. So, it is the basis or the foundation, which is like a seed. Okay, so that's the first part. Then from this, a great Kanti, great, think of like very powerful rows of light or very powerful Rashmi. Rashmi means rays going upwards like a Roma Lata. From this Nabhi, it emits great Kanti. At the top of the Kanti are two sources of light. What are the two sources of light that we are aware of? They are the sun and the moon. Those sun and the moon are the two stanyams or vakshoruhams of Sri Lalitambika. She is Vishwa Vigraha. So even though it describes the form like a navy button, a thin star of hand, things like that, they are not literally like how we as humans have it. This is the Vishwa Vigraha of Sri Lalitambika. So the three aspects are the navel, which is the foundation, a great Rashmi that goes up as a Romavali, and two sources of light that we are aware of is the sun and the moon, which are the Palam. See, so Nabhyalavalam is this part. Romali is the great source of light that's going to go up, and Lata, and it goes like a Lata. And the Palam are the Kucha Dvayi. The Kucha Dvayi are the two Stanya Bhanams. In Saundarya Lahari, there is a very special yantra that is being visualized here. It looks like the form of an inverted triangle. That's the yantra form that is being depicted for this. If you see the three aspects of it, the Nabhi here and the two Stanyams here, they form like an inverted triangle. That is the yantra that is given for Saundarya Lahari for this Nama. So, the two first, we can literally say the two sources of light are sun and moon. That's one of the definitions. The other definition in Saundarya Lahari is that the two divine breasts are Jnanasthanam. We saw in the previous session. So that is the basis for this Nama. We worshipped the divine breasts, and we said that is the source of Jnanam. Ambal's milk, the milk that comes from her divine breasts, they are Jnanam, they are Amritam. Whoever drinks that becomes Mahakavi. We saw that in the previous Nama. So the Saundarya Lahari says that one of the stanyams is Paravidya and the other stanyam is Aparavidya. Paravidya is the one that we need to know, but for if we have to know that, we can't directly know what Paravidya is. We need to know whatever else, all the other vidyas that helps to explain what the param is, that is Aparavidya. So we Ambal has Paravidya and Aparavidya as her Vakshoruhams. So the way the sadhaka will do is the sadhaka will learn the Aparavidya in order to know the Paravidya. There is a Nama that comes later which is going to talk in detail about Paravidya and Aparavidya. So we will know the details about it. For now, we just need to know that the two Sanyams, the Vakshoruhams, are Paravidya and Aparavidya. And so the navel and the two Sanyams are visualized like a inverted triangle. Now, the Shastras describe this Nabhisthanam is Manipurakam, right? The Nabhisthanam is Manipurakam. And from this Manipurakam, the Romavali that goes up, the like a creeper, like a lata, it goes up, right? That is described as the Sushumna Margam in the Yoga Shastras. And then we saw the two Stanyams. The Stanyams, which is the sun and the moon, they constitute the Ida and the Pingala Nadi. This is the definition that is given in the Yoga Shastras. So we can see how Saundarya Lahari and Lalita Sahasranama are describing the divine form of the Vishwa Vigraha of Sri Lalitambika in the exact same way. Now, this Nama has very profound meanings beyond what we can describe. We're just attempting to even know what these Namas that have been given by the Vag Devatas themselves. So it has great meanings, profound meanings in both the Yoga Shastram and the Mantra Shastra. So one way for us is that our Pramanam is Saundarya Lahari. So in Saundaryalahari, Acharya gives several upamana, means several examples to do this Nabhi upasana. This is a very special aspect of doing Nabhi upasana. Acharya says, Acharya gives three upamanams. We are going to review each one of them and how to meditate on this Nabhi and how to understand the greatness of this Nabhi. The first upamanam Acharya gives is on Mother Ganga. If we know, Ganga Mata comes from the Swargam with great force. Nobody else except Shiva could even withstand her force, right? So Acharya says Nabhisthanam is like Ganga, but the difference is that when Ganga comes in great force, it can cause a huge whirlpool and it can take whoever comes in on its path, it just can suck it inside, right? So this comes with great force and it is like a whirlpool. So, like how samsara is a whirlpool that can suck us in, that is like it is like that. Oh, well, Nabhisthanam is like Ganga, but with one difference, says Acharya, because um, Ambal's Nabhisthanam is considered to be, it is Ganga in that it is Parama Pavitram, but it will not suck us into samsara. It will bring us out of samsara. So Acharya says this is a very peaceful place to meditate. Saundarya Lahari. And the shloka goes like this. स्थिरो गङ्गावर्तः स्तनमुकुलरोमावलिलता कलावालं कुण्डं कुसुमशरतेजोहुतभुजः रते लीलागारं किमपि तव नाभिर्गिरिसुते बिलद्वारं सिद्धे Girishanayana Vijayate. That's the shloka. Here, the very first line, Acharya says Ganga. So, Ganga, we know, the Ambal's navel is meditated as the Parama Pavitra Ganga. So if we saw river Ganges flows with great speed that no one can withstand, so Lord Shiva had to come and lock her speed within his hairlock. So instead of just saying your Nabi is like Ganga, Acharya does not just say Ganga. Acharya uses the very special prefix for that. He says Stiro Ganga. Stira means that which is firm, that is not like a whirlpool. Ganga, what happens when water comes in a very great speed? It will just suck us, whatever comes in its way, like samsara sucks us in, right? Every day we want to do something towards the spiritual path, but some work or other, something comes in and sucks us out of it, right? Some daily chores come, our responsibilities come. How many times we are able to do what we want in the spiritual path, right? So that great force of samsara comes and sucks us in, right? So Acharya wants to convey that it is parama pavitram, this nabhisthanam, but he also wants to say that this is not something that is going to just like suck us in, but it is thiram. It means that it's calm, it's peaceful. The if you think of like a peaceful Ganga that's flowing, and if you want to touch it, how will it be? That's the type of Nabhi upasana that is Acharya, that is specified by Acharya here. So he says, instead of just saying Ganga, he says Stiro Ganga. So the first way of upasana of the Nabhi Sthanam here, the divine navel Sthanam here, Nabhi Alavalam, right? The round navel, how it is? It's like the Parama Pavitra Ganga that is calm and peaceful. That's the first way of upasana. Then, if we see the next line in the shloka, Acharya says, Kusuma Shara Tejo Hutabujaha. Kusumam means flowers. Shara means Barnum, that means arrows. Somebody has flower arrows. Who has flower arrows? That is Manmatha. So, Kusuma Shara means Manmatha. Manmatha, what does he do? He is sporting with his wife. Rate Leela Garam. Rate is Rati Devi. So Manmatha is sporting in Rati Devi in this divine Nabhi in the Nabhi Alavalam, in the Alavala of Nabhi. Manmatha is sporting with his wife Rati, is the next um, hint that Acharya is giving in this shloka. So the Vilasa Griham, that means the place where they reside and they sport. That is this Nabhisthanam, says Acharya in this. See, when Manmata and Rati are happily sporting, what does that imply? It means that all the beings are getting created. So, here Rati and Manmata sporting very happily implies that Ambal's navel, the Nabhi Alavalam, is the place for all the creation to happen. That is what Acharya is hinting there. Now, creation begins in this fertile region in the chakra near the navel where Manmata and Rati sport together. So Acharya says Kalavalam Kundam. It is the Kundam, it's like the base, it's like the Alavalam, where what happens if you see, if you recollect Padmanabha Swami, from the navel, a lotus comes out, Padmam comes out, from which Brahmadeva is created, and Brahmadeva creates all the creation. So the Alavala Kundam, the basis is the Nabhi of Sri Padmanabha Swami. Padmanabha Swami and Sri Lalitambika are the same. Vishnu and Shakti are one and the same. So Acharya gives us a hint that just like the Nabhisthanam of Padmanabha Swami is the basis of all creation, because from which Brahma came to create, Ambal's Nabhisthanam is also where Kusumasara, namely Manmata, and his wife Rate Leela Garam, they both sport together to create the entire universe. Now, in he gives that hint. That's the second way of upasana, where Rati and Manmata happily sport in this navel. Okay, second form of Nabhi upasana. Now, very specially, Acharya gives a third way of doing Nabhi upasana. And in that, Acharya says, Biladwaram Siddhe Girishanayananam Vijayate. In this line, Acharya says, Biladwaram instead of Guha Dwaram, to imply the sacredness of Nabhisthanam. Guham, we are familiar with Guha. Guhai means cave. Instead of saying Guha Dwaram, Acharya very specifically uses this term Bilam. So there is a difference between a Guha, which is a cave that we know of. We can see cave, right? We have seen cave. But Acharya does not say Guha Dwaram, he says Bila Dwaram. So what is the difference between Guha and Bila? Guha is generally referred to as a cave that is above the ground, whereas Bilam shows depth. It means bilam is something that is below the ground. It comes from below the ground. Okay. So that's why Acharya very specially says bila dwaram here. Bilam is a cave and in secluded spots in the hills for practicing yoga and attaining siddhi. So Acharya here specifically says Sri Lalitambika's navel is like an underground chamber. That bilam, that Nabhi Sthanam, Nabhi Alavalam is a bilam. If you recollect, Shri Kanchi Kamakshi, Kanchi Kamakshi in Kamakshi Vilasam says Ambal did Avirbhavam from the Bilasthanam. We should recollect that Bilam. The Bilam means that which is coming from under, right? So Biladwaram, the navy. So why does um, Acharya say Biladwaram? What is the speciality of this Biladwaram? The Divine Navel. Acharya explains it right next to it. Biladwaram Siddhi. Somebody got Siddhi. Who got Siddhi? Girisha. Girisha Nayananam Vijayate. Girisha, Lord Parameshwara himself got his Siddhi in this divine Nabhisthanam, says Acharya in this shlokam. Girisha. Girisha Nayananam Vijayate. Who got Siddhi? Not any ordinary being. Parameshwara himself got Siddhi. That is the speciality, says Acharya in this line here. Girishan Biladwaram Siddhe Girisha Nayananam Vijayate. So, Girisha means Giri Isha, who is Parameshwara. Parameshwara got a desire, it seems. He got a desire that he wants to create the universe. So, who can fulfill that wish? Who can give Siddhi? Giving Siddhi means who can fulfill that wish of Parameshwara? There is only one person that can do it, and that is Sri Lalitambika. And where can Parameshwara's desire be fulfilled? It is in the Nabhisthanam, because we saw Nabhisthanam is the source of creation. It is the Srishtisthanam, the source of all the creation. So Acharya here says Lord Parameshwara's desire himself got Siddhi, his desire fulfilled in this divine sthanam called Nabhi, and hence Sri Lalita Trishati, the 250th Nama in Lalita Trishati, also worship this very sacred aspect of Parameshwara himself getting Siddhi in this navel as Kameshwara Tapasiddhyaye Namaha. Sri Lalitambika is the Phala of Lord Shiva's tapas, and that's why the universe even manifested. Navel is so sacred that Sri Parameshwara's Siddhi itself became Vijayam. It will give Vijayam to all the devotees reciting this Nama, Nabhyalavala Romali Lata Phala Kucha Dvayi. That is this Nama. As next steps with Acharya's blessings, let's review the next Nama in Sri Lalita Sahasranama. Oka Samasta Shukino Bhavantu. Thank you so much, everyone.